So, Ceausescu's time. It was very hard for women then. Somebody else decided how many children the women had. I mean, it's hard for somebody from today to understand that, for example, I don't know, the government or somebody else told you to have 10 kids, even you wanted only one or two. For example, my mother, it was an act of courage for her to have only one child, because the others just throw away. It's not, how should I explain? It's hard for women to do this, especially when she realized she might die, you know? A lot of women died in that period, and nobody said nothing about them. About the orphans, doesn't care. They are the future workers, and that's it.
Of course, my memories, my recollections about the communist regime are mainly at the time when I was student. I studied history and social science. And of course, in that time, we were forced to have certain mentality adapted to the so-called new man of the regime. They wanted you to think what you were told to think, and of course to have a life after the rules of materialism, of Marxism, Leninism, so-called science. What that means, you had to think what you were told. You had to make your regular life as you were allowed to.
My grandfather was working very hard. My grandmother was looking after the 4 children. My mother, her brother, and her 2 sisters. And basically, my grandmother said to my grandfather, "This is no good, we can't live like this anymore. I'm going to write a letter to the government, or to the local, first to the local council." And my grandfather said, "Oh, no, don't do this." You know, he was scared that something would happen. And he said, "You're not doing this." But one day she went to the town hall, she went to the mayor. She said, "Hey, I'm living in a house that's registered to 4. I have 4 children. The politics of the Communist Party is to have more children. This is the ideology, to have lots of children. And yet she's not living a good standard of life." The mayor said, "I can't help you, this block, this is only for sports people or for people of high rank." So she said, "Okay, I'm gonna write a letter." So she wrote a letter directly to the secretary of the Communist Party, Todor Zhivkov. This is the highest person in the country. You could use the word dictator now, but it's not the same institution, but yes, it was an autocratic regime, and this was the highest ranking person of the state, Todor Zhivkov. She wrote to his cabinet a letter. She was a very educated woman, she was a poetess, she even has poetry books that she wrote. And she wrote this long letter saying about how she lives and how if he wants to be a good shepherd, he has to give a good life to his people. And when my grandfather read this letter, he said, "No, you're not doing this, no way." And she said, "I'm going to send the letter, no matter what." And he says, "Okay, don't put my name on this letter. I have nothing to do with this." But she disobeyed him. She wrote her name, she sent the letter, and in the end, she was given this apartment. She got a call from the mayor, and they got a letter. They were taken out of the house, but she had to make a very big noise for this. She wrote directly, not on a local level. She went straight high, and because of her poetry, she was a little bit famous, so people knew about her. So she didn't get into any trouble, and it's a very nice apartment in a very nice block, right behind the public building now, in the town now. And this is the only reason that she got it. But if she hadn't used her voice, and if she listened to my grandfather and to the fear, we would have nowhere to live. I would be renting somewhere.
This story includes my father and his rifle, and this rifle is our family relic from times of wars of national unification. This was included in the First World War. The local authorities, someone told about that to local authorities, and these authorities take my father, took away his rifle, beat him, and after that put him to a jail.
So, communism in Romania, very good. The education is free taxes, but all education is totally controlled by the Communist Party. I have 2 children, and one day in the middle of 80s years, they come back from the school and they said, "Mom, Dad, the teacher said today that my father is Nicolae Ceausescu and my mother is Elena Ceausescu." We are shocked, my wife Monica and I, because we are the parents, but the Communist Party try to educate, to incorporate all the people from the youngest age.
First few years after the fall of communism is maybe a one word, hunger, because economy collapsed and everything else collapsed too.
Okay, so I am born in the 90s, so I don't have any memories from the Soviet times. But I do know that the transition period has influenced at least my life quite a lot. Um, for example, when Estonia became independent, there was a lot of there before everyone were the same, and after the transition, there there was a big gap suddenly between two groups. Some people got rich very fast, and the others were living quite poorly.
I I know that when we had our own currency, Estonian crown, you had the Russian rubles, and when you changed the money, at first you may had a lot of money, but thanks to the deflation of the crown, the people lost a lot of money, so people became pretty poor.
Millions of Romanians were forced to leave their country and go to work in Germany, Italy, France, Spain, and so on.
But what changed in our policy? I hope we have culture of politicians, we have new parties, but how it will be, it depends on European Union. We are much involved in European policy, and I know that Polish young people traveling around Europe and coming back because Polish people are very familiar. And I hope they will transfer European ideas to Poland, and we could again be powerful, and we will have trust between us, between Polish people.